All right, so this is going to be section 2.3. So it's talking about monthly payments. When looking at career salaries or paying student loans and creating financial budgets, common practice to evaluate sums on a monthly basis. To calculate monthly payments, we use monthly payment formula. Ever worry about being ripped off by a car dealership? Are you sure the finance office is calculating your monthly payment correctly, or did they add something without your knowledge? With the formula for determining monthly payments, use simple interest on an, I'm going to pronounce this word wrong, amortized loan is as follows. Okay, so here's the formula. And this is actually in your Unit 1 packet that's got this formula written in there, but let's try one. So you want to buy a car. Instead of looking at a 2015 Honda Civic, or now we just want to look at the financing and not considering the huge insurance price tag. So just as a fun fact, when you buy a car, you actually have to pay insurance on top of it, and that's an extra like $500 a month, depending on the type of car you get. So keeping this formula in mind, we have P times R divided by N times 1 plus R divided by N raised to the NT over 1 plus R divided by N raised to the NT minus 1. So P is the principal, N is the number of times that happens in a year, T is the number of years, and then R is the finance rate. Now, you might have done this in Algebra 1, but we did do a simplified version. Okay, so MSRP is going to be 24,950, and then dealer destination is 595, underbody spoiler side 599, front, you can read all of that. Moonroof visor 138, and wheels 1,820. So for a grand total of 29,329. Maybe if you're lucky, you can talk them down to 27,000. So we started from a $24,000 car and went up to 29,000. That's not including tax or anything else. So with all that hard-earned money from Target, you might have saved up to $3,000 for a down payment. So we'll have to finance $24,000. Let's see if you could afford the payment for this car for 5 years with a 6.5% APR, which is pretty common. So since R divided by N is used so much in the formula, let's go ahead and determine that number. It's this. Okay, so we can replace all of these R divided by N's with this number. Now it's just a matter of substituting everything in correctly and arithmetic. Oh, I'm sorry, and the arithmetic. So when we plug this in, we're going to get 469.63. I don't think so. And that doesn't even include your monthly insurance. So you would have a $469.63 fee every month to pay just for your car, not including your insurance. So do you realize that you actually end up paying $469 for 60 months, which is $28,000? Remember, we only borrowed $24,000. So the bank makes $4,000 more just for loaning you the money, and this is with a low APR. So let's go ahead and do that for this problem. Okay, so our initial is 7,500. Too many zeros. Okay, and then we're going to change this to a decimal by moving it 2 places over, so 0.095 for 4 years. And then N is the number of times that it happens in a year, so monthly. So how many months are there in a year? There's 12. Okay, now we're going to take R and divide it by the number of months. So 0.095 divided by 12. And that's going to give us 0.007917. Okay, now we're going to plug all of that in to this formula. So we have 7,500 times 0.007917 times 1 plus 0.007917 raised to the 12 times 4 all over 1 plus 0.007917 raised to the 12 times 4 minus 1. Now, the easiest way to type this in is probably going to be Desmos. And yes, you can use Desmos on your test this week. So it's 7500. Make sure that you use parentheses and all that jazz. And we're typing the whole thing in. So raised to the 1 plus 0.007 and 7 is raised to the 12 times 4 minus 1. Okay, so that would be a $188. Let's go back. So this would be $188. And I don't know what the cents were. And 0.37 cents. 0.37 cents. So for 4 years, you would make a monthly payment of $188.37. Okay. So then determine the actual amount paid to the bank and the total amount of interest. So what we're going to do there is we are starting with 7,500. You got these monthly payments and you're doing it 4 years on a monthly basis. So we're going to take 188. So I'm going to erase this really quick. 188.37. We're going to do it for 12 months for 4 years. So 188.37 times 12 times 4. That's $9,041.76. And we started off with just borrowing 7,500. So we have 1,541.76 interest. And this is the total amount you'll pay at the end of all of that. Okay. So house payments work the exact same way, except banks usually give you 15 to 30 years to pay it off. So what would your monthly payment be on a house if you could take out a loan for $85,000? So our principal is 85. And then we're moving this. So that's 0.071. And we're doing it for 30 years every month. So 0.071 divided by monthly. So that's giving me 0.0059. Let's do 17. Okay. So we're going to take those numbers and we're going to plug them in. All right. So I got 571.25. 571.25. That's your monthly house payment. Okay. And if we were trying to figure out how much you would pay in total, so 571.25, we're going to multiply it by 12 months. And then we're going to multiply by 30 years. And so that's $205,000 by the time you finish paying all of this. Now, 205, 650 minus 85,000. You're paying $120,650 extra in